Warline, Squeeze Gang, we back again with another one. First of all, before I even start this video, I want to shout out to the Warren Cali doing this thing. I've been watching the Warren Cali for before I even started doing YouTube, like real talk. And I already been doing YouTube going on 3 years this month. This year make three years doing YouTube. So I was watching the Warren Cali before that. So big up to him. Keep doing your thing. And it's a request. Somebody follow me on Instagram and send me this. I think they might have followed me from me doing the Kendrick Lamar videos. So shout out to him. Let's watch this. Let's see what's going on with this. The first rapper on the America's Most Wanted list. The story of Filthy Phil. Sheesh.
So the Warren Cali. In this episode, I'm going to detail the story of Bay Area rapper Filthy Phil. Filthy Phil was born Philip Newt and would grow up in Richmond, California. He grew up in an area called Kennedy Manor, which was a housing project in South Richmond and was known as a deadly and dangerous area, especially with Richmond being one of the most dangerous cities in all of California. So growing up in Kennedy Manor in the 80s and 90s, Phil would experience a lot and do a lot, and it would be hard not to be a part of the street life. Just going outside, he seen drugs being sold and violence his whole life. But Phil had bigger plans than the streets. He wanted to be a rapper and had plans on making it big. He spent hours writing and rehearsing his raps and gearing up to release a tape. But being young and black in the hood, he would have a lot of distractions and a lot of police harassment.
Philip Newt lived in a tough part of Richmond, California.
Living in Richmond was a nightmare. It was a war zone. The ghetto life is like being in a box and you can't get out. There's no hope, there's no dreams. And so when Philip would come to them with his dreams, they loved Philip. He had a higher imagination.
Philip Newt wrote about what he saw, what he experienced. His dream was that writing would be his ticket out.
Nowadays, you write about what you see and what you experience in life, they come in with indictments. Nowadays, it's almost like if you rapping gangster shit, it's authentic, it's scary. Or it's not really that scary though if you rapping what you seen, not what you did. So let me rephrase that. When you start to get to talk about what you did, then it gets scary. You talk about what you seen and what you saw, you might be straight. You might be straight.
From a positive point of view, Philip Newt had a lot of potential. He seemed to have a direction that he wanted to write. He wanted to be a music writer. But unfortunately, he hung around hardcore individuals who swayed him to do the things that he did.
Yo, Filthy Phil.
What's up, George?
You famous yet? Too good for your homeboys now?
I ain't gonna forget the little people, though.
You ain't forgetting nothing, because you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, but check this out, Filthy. I got a job for you. I ain't with that, man. I gotta go.
You got a what? I'm giving you a chance to score some quick cash, fool. And you ain't rich yet.
Not now, but I will be.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You will be, Filthy. But I tell you what, until then, find me a buyer for this camera. I'll split the take with you.
Oh, let me see that, man. Oh, okay.
Yeah, where'd you get this, man? From my mother.
Oh, okay. Did she put up a fight, though?
She never knew what hit her.
Friends say there were two forces drawing on Philip Newt, his rowdy friends and his angry music.
Philip was in love with his car. When the police would stop him because he was having a good time. He wasn't breaking any traffic laws, but just the fact that he was in this car and they knew Philip.
The Richmond police say he did break traffic laws, usually minor ones, but he broke them often. He was stopped for speeding in July of 1988. Not the first time, not the last.
See that stop sign back there? Oh, hey, officer, I didn't realize. I was singing the song, and I guess I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's there. You went right through it.
But you gonna write me a ticket?
That's right.
Less than a year later, he had another encounter with police. This one was more serious.
We initiated a stop on the vehicle. At that time, Detective Goldberg approached the driver of the vehicle. I approached the passenger side area of the vehicle. I observed that Philip Newt was not wearing a seatbelt. I asked Philip for his ID. He told me he had none. At that time, I told him he was going to be placed under
I
arrest.
didn't do anything, man. This ain't nothing but police harassment. I'm out of here, man.
You're not free to go.
Get off me, fool.
That's it, under arrest.
Resisting.
man.
A minor traffic stop.
Back in them days, them niggas would have killed you for that. That's regular now. Niggas don't wear no seatbelts. Yo, back in the days, yo, I ain't gonna lie, times change. Police really don't give a fuck if you're not even wearing a seatbelt. I be getting pulled over, I never wear a seatbelt. And I need to start. I need to do better. I need to do better because it's there to save you. It's there to save you. But niggas don't be wearing seatbelts in the hood for real. And back in the day, they used to whip niggas' ass and kill niggas for resisting arrest. Niggas be fucking the police up now. Yeah, they might still
Came
kill
a
you.
major
They might still kill you though.
turning point. Police records show Newt struck the officer in the chest. He was charged with battery. Newt was convicted of misdemeanor battery. The sentence, 3 years probation and 10 days in the county jail.
Think about the consequences. Yeah, boy, I think about the consequences.
By Philip being able to put words together so quickly and poetically, he would leave the environment outside.
Hey, mid-video, like the video. Let's get this video to 100 likes. And mid-video, while y'all was just sitting back, relaxing, watching this with me, follow me on Instagram. Send me some more shit. It ain't always got to be just music. Y'all can send me documentaries. Follow the Kick. We live stream. We do live reactions on the Kick. Squeeze Reacts. I'm not live right now. But follow that. Where we at? All right. And guess what? If this is out before that, I did the Kendrick for y'all.
And come into his own little world and just sit down and write. It gave him an escape.
But Newt could not escape the harsh realities of his world.
After a while, Phil started to gain recognition in the Bay after releasing several records, and the main song being a song called Consequences. It was said he caught the attention of many labels for his music by the time of April of 1991. But when things just started to look up for Phil, things would go terrible. One night in July of 1991, Phil will be riding with several of his friends when they had been put over by police for speeding. From police accounts, when the car stopped, Phil blindsided police and began firing. He struck an officer. The police and Phil engaged in a shootout, was left an officer shot, and left Phil shot as well. Phil would escape from the police, but Phil shooting the police would lead to a manhunt, and he would go on a run.
What? Nigga said, I ain't going back to jail. Nigga start blinking at the boys. Mad. Nigga got pulled over, started blinking.
For his friends when they had been put over by police for speeding. From police accounts, when the car stopped, Phil blindsided police and began firing. He struck an officer. The police and Phil engaged in a shootout, was left an officer shot, and left Phil shot as well. Phil would escape from the police, but Phil shooting the police would lead to a manhunt, and he would go on a run, skipping several cities and states to avoid capture. Police believe his motive for the shooting was he was on probation, and he didn't want to go back to jail. Phil became a well-known man worldwide for this shooting, with his story appearing on national broadcaster show, America Most Wanted.
It was once the home of a booming shipbuilding industry. Now times are tough, and it's the home to high unemployment, gangs, violence, and the tough turf of housing projects. Philip Newt grew up in that angry world. As a teenager, he became a rap artist, and he put out this album. The hardcore lyrics earned him the nickname Filthy Phil. They tell stories of life on Richmond's mean streets, and police say eerily foretell Newt's own future.
Philip Newt is a victim of society, a victim of lack of opportunity. But again, he's also guilty of a very terrible wrongdoing, and he has to come forward and pay the price. There's no doubt about it.
He's not above the law. I think once he hears me begging him, telling him to turn himself in, I know he'll do it. I love you, Philip. Please do the right thing.
Police shut down a stretch of Interstate 580 for 12 hours, but Newt slipped through the manhunt. By the next morning, he was nearly 400 miles south in Bakersfield, California. He used the alias Aaron Lawrence and convinced emergency room officials he'd been shot by his girlfriend. They treated him for a bullet wound in his left leg, then released him. Here's the cover of Newt's album, Consequences. The photos were taken at Kennedy Manor, the housing project where Newt was raised. Notice how Newt sets himself apart from the crowd by wearing horn-rimmed glasses. But it's just for the effect. Newt's eyesight's just fine. He's always worn short hair, and he often wears a thin mustache. Newt was last spotted in Chicago, but he may have moved on. If Philip Velvet Newt's shown up in your area, call our hotline tonight. The number
Chicago, bro. God damn. That nigga got the fuck out of Dodge.
is 1-800-CRIME-92.
While on the run, Phil would even sign a record deal with a record label called Fugitive Records. Ain't that a coincidence?
Wow.
He would even release a whole
Fugitive Records. Why he on the run? Yo, that's what did it. Ain't that why Nipsey signed too, right? Because he was about to go to jail or some shit. So he was like, let me sign this deal. Get this bread. I ain't mad at him. Shout out Filthy Phil.
EP in 1992 called The Manhunt. But Phil would later be arrested at a studio in Atlanta, and Phil would do around
Going to Atlanta. This nigga was like, I'm out. Nigga made it to Atlanta.
5 years for his crime.
How much years?
Later be arrested at a studio in Atlanta, and Phil would do around 5 years for his crime.
That's it.
Once he was released from prison, Phil started to collab with other rappers, including rappers like Mac Dre. In 2002, Phil would release the album called Money Hungry Hustler, and over the years, he would collab with other artists. As recent as 2023, Phil released an EP called Filthy Dough with another artist called Spendo. Phil still remains under the radar, but not really appearing in interviews and not really being active on social media. But to survive what he did, he's lucky that he overcame what happened.
Thorough. Filthy Phil, thorough. What on?
This will conclude this episode, if you haven't already.
Oh, nah, Filthy Phil. We might gotta tap in. Do a new Filthy Phil song. Yeah, we gotta tap in. Like, comment, subscribe. What on?